take that down a little bit. Better? Hi friends, thanks for joining me today, and what I wanted to talk about is age and learning music. I believe very, very strongly that anybody can learn music at any age. I believe anybody can learn anything at any age, but that's a different matter. Now, we can also agree that there are people who are otherly abled and who, with physical reasons, maybe it could be difficult for some people to learn something while others may be able to learn it. However, I do have to say that oftentimes I hear people use the excuse of their age to not learn something new when it's not really a physical inability or a mental inability, but they're actually using their age, saying, well, if I had learned this as a child, particularly when it comes to music, I would have loved to have played piano, but I didn't learn as a kid. It's way easier to learn as a kid than as an adult. I hear that all the time. And there's definite scientific evidence to support that the brain of a child, right, is like a sponge, and the synapses have not hardened, right? Am I saying that right? I'd have to reread that, but I'm not going to reread that. But the synapses that are firing, the pathways have not necessarily hardened in the way that as an adult. But that doesn't mean that we still can't create new pathways in our brain as adults. So the argument that I would like to make is, besides the scientific fact of the difference of children's brains versus adult brains, more so it comes down to ego. Yep, I said it. It's your ego. It is your ego that is keeping you from learning new things, not your brain. Ooh. And I'll explain that for the most part, as children, hopefully, if we had a safe place, if we felt safe enough to be able to play, because not all children have that ability, that place to be in. But for those who did, we had a sense of play. And we didn't know anything. So we had to be beginners in everything. We had to be beginners in speaking language, in making sound, beginners in walking, beginners in crawling, beginners in running, beginners. Everything we did, we were beginners. So we had no ego attached to it, right? We just had to be okay with being beginners. Then, as we become adults and we enter this world that expects perfectionism from us right away, and that everything we do has to be marketable, that we have to be able to make money off of it. That's a whole other story. However you feel about capitalism or not, we'll just say the system that we are born into has this, we feel like, I have to be making money. I have to have a house. I have to have this. And we're like in this sense of fear and dread of having to build and make money all the time, that any new skill set that we learn, we feel like it has to be perfect enough to market it. Or I'll say that as an artist, I definitely have felt that very, very strongly. So going back to my point, we have more of a fear as adults and ego wrapped around being beginners. And that is the number one thing that keeps us from learning something new, or not just learning something new, but from being able to get better at something. And I want to tell you my story on this. So in my perfectionism in my 20s and trying to be an artist, and I'm a Gemini. I don't know if that's the reason why I wanted to be an actress. I was also a model, and then I was pursuing an opera career, and I was like very invested in my opera career. That's a story for another time. And I had this great voice teacher, Stephen Harms. Thank you, Stephen, who also was encouraging me to get back into piano. I'll tell you about my history with piano. I started playing piano at the age of 4. I was really blessed to have a mother who wanted to put her children into music very young because she didn't have the opportunity to learn music as a child. So I loved it, and I got good very quickly because I actually liked it and I practiced. That's a whole other thing. So by the time I was 10, I was already composing music. I will go through old notebooks of like, I picked out a piece the other day and I was like having trouble playing it. I'm like, what? I was like 10 or 11 years old when I wrote that. I was playing Chopin. I was playing all sorts of Beethoven. I was winning awards. I was a very excellent pianist. And then other things happened in my life. I also played French horn. You guys, I just love music. And I was in orchestra, so I let piano go to pursue French horn and basketball. I told you I'm a Gemini. I love to do everything. But then I also thought basketball, also 6 feet tall. I thought basketball would be my ticket to a free ride to college, so I was pursuing that. Okay, long story short, here I am, 26 years old, 27 years old, deeply engrossed in my opera career, and then my voice teacher tells me, you should start playing piano again. And my first thought was, well, I don't have time for that. That's a waste of time, because here I am pursuing my talent as an opera singer, and I am heavily invested in this, and I want to make money doing this, that it would waste my time to pick up something that, honestly, what's the point? I can't be a concert pianist at this point. I'm not, how am I going to make money from it? I had all these excuses. I'm like, I was better at 10, 11 years old. I've tried to pick up Moonlight Sonata. I've tried to pick up, songs that I could effortlessly play at 11, and I'm shit now. So what's the point? And he encouraged me to start playing again anyways. And he encouraged me to go further from my classical music studies and to start studying chords and chord progressions so that I could play pop and jazz music. So my biggest obstacle in the beginning was my ego, was the fact that I was quite terrible compared to when I was 11 years old, that I was quite terrible compared to my friends who are concert pianists and just other friends who've been playing solidly for years. And that was keeping me from being able to pick up this instrument, this skill, this passion that I had from a very young age. It was keeping me from being able to find that love of it again, and not caring whether I'm ever going to be a concert pianist, but being able to play it for the sheer joy of it. And here I am, years later, playing piano every day. And I'm no concert pianist. I'm no Jamie Colin, but I'm actually pretty good. And I'm okay with where I am. I'm okay knowing that I can get so much better, but that's okay. Every day that I practice, I'm going towards this getting better. And I'm okay to be where I am and to see where I can go, and let that be exciting. And so I'm actually proud of where I am today, while also being okay knowing that I'm going to keep getting better. And now I'm a piano teacher, and I'm playing concerts, and I'm performing, and I'm putting all of these together, and now I'm writing my own music. All of this came out of letting go of my ego, letting go of that need to be perfect, of that need to know where it was going, and just let myself explore something that brings me joy. And it has brought me to a place in my life that I never could have imagined. That makes me far happier than the path I was on when I had a limited mindset of what I had to do. So I'll bring this all back to my original point. I believe that yes, you can learn music at any age. And I'll tell you the key components. Number one, gotta let go of the ego. And honestly, that's a daily practice to let yourself be a beginner, to let yourself mess up, to let it not be great, and to just keep pushing. And also to let yourself, if you get frustrated, to just breathe through it and be okay with it too. And most of the time when we get frustrated, it's because we're expecting ourselves to be perfect in that moment instead of enjoying the process of it. So that's number one. Gotta let go of that ego and that need to be perfect. Those are wrapped up together. Number two, finding the joy. And this goes back to why children learn things so quickly, because it's in that joy. And I have seen this not only in myself, but in my students. When I encourage them, when they get into this space of, oh, I have to do this, their practice, their playing suffers. I see it all the time. When we get out of that space, when I get out of that space for myself, and they get out of that mental space and just start to enjoy, it's like night and day. The quality of the playing, their ability to express, my ability to express, just flourishes. And I swear to you that the more you enjoy what it is that you're doing, the more you learn how to find that joy and that pleasure in the practicing and in the pursuing of this art form, the quicker you will learn. So those are the two main components. And then the third, I'd say on top of that, is learning how to breathe. That's it for everything. Learning how to stay in your breath, how to be in your body and breathe deeply. Most of the time, if my students mess up, I ask them, were you breathing? I don't think I was. Like 99% of the time. Remember to breathe. And that's a metaphor for life. All of it is, right? So I believe in you deeply. I truly believe in you. I believe in me. I believe that the love to learn music is just, if you have that desire and that passion, that supersedes all things, age or what your past has been or anything, or my messed up pinkies. So if you have anything with your hands or anything that you think physically is keeping you from playing piano, you could be wrong. Could you explore that? So that's what I wanted to say to you guys today. I believe in you, and I believe that you can learn music at any age. And I hope you continue following along. Okay, have a beautiful day. Mwah.